On Sunday, Jalen Hurts was ruled out of his game against the Commanders after being diagnosed with a concussion on this play right here. So let's break down what happened and how exactly the NFL goes about spotting these concussions. If you're new here, this is a channel where we break down and discuss the most recent injuries in sports, so don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on my latest videos. Now that original angle didn't look too bad, but in this second angle, you can see the clear helmet-to-helmet contact and then Jalen Hurts' head hitting off against the turf. And he gets up almost right away, but I remember watching live and feeling like something is off with him. It's not quite normal, and especially if you freeze it right here, you can see he's just kind of blankly staring at the ground. It just doesn't feel right, and this is something where if you're around concussions, have seen people get concussions before, you might be familiar with this feeling where you can tell something is not right. So then he tries to give the ref a little thumbs up, say, hey, I'm okay. But the ref or the concussion spotters ended up flagging him and wanting to get checked out. The concussion spotters are actually two independent athletic trainers sitting in a control room with access to almost every camera angle, and they have to take a look at every single play to determine whether somebody in that play received a suspicious blow to the head or showing signs of a concussion, which is really difficult when you think about how they only have 20 to 30 seconds to identify the suspicious activity and report to the ref that that player needs to check out of the game and be evaluated. So the refs or the spotters did a really good job here in identifying that Jalen Hurts needed to be taken out and evaluated in the tent. And I know some fans were probably upset about this because it ended up leading to Kenny Pickett coming in the game and pretty much blowing it for the Eagles, but it really is the right thing to do. And this is because if somebody who has a concussion is left in the game and receives a second blow to the head, it can cause what we call second impact syndrome. And this is when, as a result of that second concussion or second blow to the head, swelling and brain herniation can occur, which will lead to a medical emergency. So now the big question is, when will Jalen Hurts be able to return? And that comes down to the NFL's Concussion Protocol. So in the NFL's Concussion Protocol, the first step is going to be symptom-limited activity. And what this means is you're going to be doing about 5 to 10 minutes on like a stationary bike. Then it's aerobic exercise, which is more like 10 to 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes on a treadmill. Then you have football-specific exercise. And this is different than a non-contact practice. This will be more like him just doing some sort of football-related activities or drills by himself. And then you move to the non-contact training drills. So this will be a true non-contact practice where he just won't participate in team, but can be in like Indy or Scout. And then finally for step 5, he'll have full football activity / clearance, which is sort of true. Now, unless the NFL is different than the normal national concussion protocol, there's actually a step 6, which would be return to game. So step 5 is more like return to full contact practice. Then the next day you can return to game. Now keep in mind, each step is going to take 24 hours to complete. So in order to go from step 1 to step 2, you need 24 hours to pass and you need no increase in symptoms. And that's going to be the same for step 2 to step 3 to step 4, and step 4 to step 5, and then finally step 5 to step 6. So you could see Jalen Hurts back as soon as their next game on Sunday against the Cowboys, or it could take a couple weeks. It's all going to depend on his symptoms and how he's feeling. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the play, when it happened, and what you were thinking, as well as anything you'd like to see me cover next. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, as it would really help me out a lot.